Hosea 4:6, don't forget our teacher. Ezekiel 8:14, they weep for who? That the cross is a loyalty for that deity. Jeremiah 23:27. God is name for long, sharpen my sword for the kneel to the floor, say no more repent. Luke 1:5, the course was Abijah. 1 John 24:10. Now I know the birth of the Messiah. Ecclesiastes chapter 7:1. Mentally enslaving all my people like Pharaoh. Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people Pharaoh. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like Pharaoh. Let him go. Mentally enslaving all my people like Pharaoh. Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people Pharaoh. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like Pharaoh. Let's go. Leviticus 11, still people eating swine. Isaiah 65:4, no swine. Isaiah 66, verse 3, no swine. Okay. Oh, you need the New Testament, right? Matthew 5:17-19. Listen. 2 John verses, love I listen. Romans 2:13. Now what? Who said? I said that. Read Exodus so we can exit this. Stage on Borgia, chillin', drippin', spiritual. Oppressing my people, wondering 40 years. Yahuwah is my Savior and King, now listen. Yahushua means the Father is salvation. John 3:18, you see why believe. Mentally enslaving all my people like Pharaoh. Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people Pharaoh. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like Pharaoh. Straight up. Mentally enslaving all my people like Pharaoh. Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people Pharaoh. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like Pharaoh. You gotta have faith, but according to the Romans 9:1-5, why you lie? My flesh is of Yasharel, you better tell. Psalms 83, crafty counsel, I see. God is working on Shabbat, on Sunday preaching. Psalms 91, in him I touch Yahuwah. Deuteronomy 28, it all relates. Atlantic slave trade back in Egypt now. 2 Kings 17:5-19. Romans 11, don't boast up, listen. As we return, this fire burns in me. Who got Yahuwah of me, who translate that?
Shalom, shalom, family.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise to Adonai Yahweh, and we do so in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai King, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Brother Uriel ben Judah.
My name is Brother Yakanan.
My name is Chedikiel.
Brother Yael.
David ben Judah.
And we're going to just go over some scriptures when it's pertaining to Passover. We're not talking about no Easter bunnies. We're not preparing for the Easter bunny. We're preparing for the Lord's Passover.
That's right.
Which your pastor should be teaching you, and which you if you're in the Christian church, your pastor should be keeping.
Come.
And we're going to dig into some scriptures, and we're going to go precept upon precept, and we're going to get an understanding of what the Passover is, how we're supposed to observe the Passover, and what we're supposed to do in the midst of the Passover.
Come. First, as always, we like to start with the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
Wow.
And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And we're going to go through this Bible today, and we're going to give you the truth on whether or not you should be keeping the Lord's Passover, or whether you should be keeping the pagan holiday of Easter. We're going to go precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, and we're going to give you the facts, and we're going to let you choose this day whether you're going to serve God or whether you're going to serve idols.
That's right.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That means we're going to go a little bit in the Old Testament, we're going to go a little bit in the New Testament, and we're going to bring it all together and show you through the precepts that you should be keeping the Passover. We're going to show you us how we kept the Passover from the beginning. We're going to show you how we kept the Passover in other captivities. And we're going to show you to be Christ-like, you have to follow behind Christ and keep the Passover just as Yahweh Shai kept the Passover.
That's right.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 20. No, Salakia. First, we're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 133. The book of Psalms, chapter 133.
Beginning?
Yeah, read it. Read it all.
Okay. Behold, how good, how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
So what we're doing is we're going to come together on these holy convocations, and we're going to dwell together in unity, and we're going to keep these feasts as the Most High has appointed us to do in honor of our ancestors. Go ahead.
It is like the precious ointment upon the head that runs down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments.
So we're going to keep this gloriously, just as Aaron's beard is his badge of honor, as some oil running down it of an anointing. And that's how we are going to keep these feasts amongst us as we refine our culture as Hebrew Israelites, as we re-identify who we are and we come back to the majesty of who we are. And we go back and become the holy people that we are meant to be. Go on.
As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew of descendants upon the mountains of Zion, for there Yahweh commanded the blessings, even life, forevermore.
So it's going to be life, and we're going to have blessings for keeping the feast that the Most High has told us to do. Instead of have these pagan holidays, we're going to go back and learn who we are, and we're going to do the things that we were supposed to do righteously and appointed to do.
So if you kept Christmas and you kept Thanksgiving, this is a perfect time for us to come back to the scriptures and get in line with Yahweh Shai, who you may know as Jesus Christ. Get back into the scriptures and come back to our culture, who we are according to the scriptures.
Come. From there, we're going to go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 8.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, and at verse 8. And it reads, Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with leaven of malice and wickedness, but with unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
So this leaven right here symbolizes us getting rid of the wickedness of the world, us putting off the holidays of the world, the paganism of the world, and our captors' customs. This symbolizes us putting on a new leaven, which is our customs, as they are the rich garments that we are meant to wear as Hebrew Israelites, and going back to who we should be as God's chosen people, the people that are above all people, the light unto the world.
And there's a lot of brothers and sisters that may be dealing with things against the fence. Rather, I want to keep this truth. from the cares of this world and the things that they've been dealing with according to this world. Now, this is a perfect time for us to come back to who we are as a people, like the brother said, who we are as a nation, and be Christ-like.
Come. From there, we're going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 12, and we're going to start at verse 6.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, and at verse 6. And it reads, "And ye shall keep it up unto the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at even."
So we're supposed to start this holy convocation at the evening of the 14th day of the month Abib. This is the Hebrew New Year, which is not in the middle of winter. This is the beginning of life springing up. This is the fresh new beginning of the year. We're supposed to keep this as a holy convocation on the 14th day of the month Abib, which means actually green ears of grain or corn. Okay. And there is no green ears of grain in the middle of winter. So how are you celebrating New Year's in the middle of winter? You're giving tribute to another god, which is Janus, during the month of January. So we here and we're going to refine our culture by keeping the feast on the new year of the Most High's new year. Go on.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to add to that. And it doesn't even feel right to keep the New Year's when everything is dead.
Come.
The trees are dead. It makes more sense and it feels better to keep the New Year's when everything is blossoming. Everything is fertile at the time of the New Year's that Yahweh has appointed. So we have to come up out of this pagan understanding. Again, this is at verse 7. "And they shall take the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the house, wherein they shall eat it." So he's telling you that the blood is symbolic of something that's getting ready to transpire. After we killed the lamb, we're supposed to take the blood of the lamb and spread it on the top of the post and on the side of the post, according to the scriptures. This is at verse 8. "And they shall eat the flesh and thou shalt eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the prudence thereof." So, a lot of our people, and well, most of it is coming from the Caucasian race, the so-called Caucasian race. They like to eat their meat when it's still kicking. So the Most High is telling us not to eat our meat medium well with blood coming out of it. And also, we're not supposed to roast our lamb with water.
Come.
Okay, this is verse 10. "And ye shall let none of it remain until morning, and that which remain of it until morning ye shall burn with fire."
So we're supposed to eat this lamb and nothing should remain of this. And we're supposed to do this as a symbol between us and the Most High and keep this as the Lord's Passover.
Read verse 11.
Yeah.
Verse 11. "And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover.
Go ahead.
For I will pass through the land of Mizraim this night, and will smite the firstborn in the land of Mizraim, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Mizraim I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh.
Go ahead.
And the blood the blood shall be to you for a token upon the house where ye shall where ye are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you, when I smite the land of Mizraim.
So we were supposed to take this lamb and put the blood and make a mark above the door so that none of the children of Israel's firstborn will be killed when the Most High sent the destroyer on the land of Egypt, and he brought us out during this time of the Passover, and we were supposed to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you know, and we are to keep this as a remembrance of what the Most High did for our ancestors.
Now we have to understand this. Look what, as we read the scriptures, look what the Most High did for not only us as a people, but did for our ancestors, and they spoil our traditions, and they taint our holy days with this paganism of Easter.
Come.
And anybody that's stuck in the Easter tradition should be ashamed of themselves. Any pastor that teaches that Easter and it's not Passover should be ashamed of themselves.
Come.
The way you know if your pastor is called by the Most High is if they are celebrating Easter or celebrating the Passover.
Come. Secondly, Easter is the name of another god.
Come.
In the Bible, Easter is known as various other gods, such as Astarte, Astaroth, or even the Queen Mother of Heaven in Jeremiah, which you can go back and read later on to yourself. And the Most High, the God of Israel, Yahweh, has commanded us not to put any other gods before him. So when you out there sending your kids up chocolate bunnies and on Easter egg hunts, you actually teaching them to give worship to another god. And you are provoking him to anger. So the Most High also says, let's get that in...
Jeremiah 10:2.
Nah, hold that. I'm going to pull a precept. We're going to go to Exodus 20. It says, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him. Oh, no, I'm going off. I'm slacking. Slacking. The verse, the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord thy God. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me. So if you're teaching your children this custom, you're teaching your children to hate the Most High.
That's right.
You also making the likenesses of the images of heaven, because Ishtar, she donned herself as the Queen Mother of Heaven, which was after Semiramis, which was the Queen Mother of Heaven in Babylon. So you're teaching your children to worship another God openly and blatantly. So it is our job as watchmen to let you know what you're doing, so that you go back and pull away from these customs and go back to the true customs in your lineage.
The very foundation of church, the very foundation of preaching the gospel comes from this book, which we tote around every Sunday, and which you guys tote around every Sunday. Why not keep what's in the book? Do not let somebody deter you from what is written, no matter who they are. We cannot be a respecter of person. And this is the reason why a lot of our brothers and sisters are destroyed, because of being a respecter of person. I'm going to follow my pastor and not what Yahweh says in his book. This is the blueprint of life. We have to follow what he says. I'm going to get the precept to that in Jeremiah 10:2. Off of what you just said.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them, for the customs of the people are vain.
So Yahweh told us, learn not the ways of the heathen. You cannot find Easter in this book unless you're looking at a wrong or bad translation, which we're going to show you again. You cannot find the customs of an Easter egg, of an Easter bunny. So we need to stop not only deceiving ourselves, but deceiving our children with the customs of these heathens.
Come. From there, we're going to go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 4 through 8.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 4 through 8.
Come on.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations,
Come on.
which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
Come on.
In the 14th day of the first month, at even is the Lord's Passover.
No, it's the Lord's Easter.
The Lord's Passover.
Okay.
And on the 15th day of the same month, this is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
So we supposed to hold a holy convocation this first day, and after that we're not supposed to eat any bread with leaven. And you're supposed to hold a holy feast the last day of this feast, and in between them you shall eat no leavened bread, and that's the feast of unleavened bread, which we are commanded to keep and teach our children. So you must get all the leaven out of your house. You mustn't eat these things, because this is an honor of us leaving Egypt and having no time to even make leavened bread. From there, we're going to go to the book of Ezra, chapter 6, verse 19 through 22.
The book of Ezra, chapter 6, verse 19 through 22.
Come on.
And the children of the captivity.
The children of the what?
Of the captivity.
So we was in captivity, huh? So we was keeping this feast in captivity. So there's no excuse why you saying, oh, we in America, we shouldn't keep it in, we not in Jerusalem. They were keeping this feast in captivity. Come on.
Keep the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month.
Come on.
For the priests and the Levites were purified. Together all of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of captivity and for their brethren and the priests and for themselves. And the children of Israel which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the Lord of the land, to seek the Lord God of Israel, did eat, and kept the feast day of unleavened bread 7 days with joy, for the Lord had made Assyria unto them to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of Yahweh, the Yahweh of Israel.
Come.
So this was a joyous day, a joyous time for the children of Israel. He brought us out of the land of Egypt. He protected us in the wilderness. This is a joyous time to commemorate us coming up out of the captivity of our oppressors. You see how ignorant it is for us to take this commemoration that the Most High gave us and put a pagan holiday in it, and we start to worship Easter bunnies and Easter eggs.
Come. Another popular thing that people in the Christian church like to do is say, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? WWJD. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the time out right now. We're going to show you what Yahweh Shai, who the world called Jesus, would do. We're going to go to the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 7 through 15, Slakia. The book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 7 through 15. And if most of you got a Bible, and if you got a KJV Bible, the words most likely is red. So this is Christ coming out of the mouth.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 7.
Verse 7 through 15.
Then it came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover.
No, prepare Easter.
Prepare us the Passover.
Let's make lemon rain pies for Easter.
The Passover.
Okay.
That we may eat. And they said unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare? That he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth in. And ye shall say unto the good man of the house, The master says unto thee, Where is a guest chambers, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
No, eat the Easter ham.
The Passover.
So Christ and the disciples was keeping the Passover, and unbeknownst to you, this is the Last Supper. And you're going to go to church on an Easter Sunday, and your church is going to tell you that this is the Easter dinner when this is the Last Supper. And the Last Supper was actually Christ's last Passover.
That's right.
So him and the disciples did this. So if you're wondering what Jesus would do, Jesus would be keeping the Passover. Yahweh Shai would be keeping the Passover.
And another thing, these scriptures are undeniable. These are in your beloved book of the brother Paul and the other apostles. So what a lot of our people hear and see these in scriptures and say, oh, well, I'm going to follow pastor. So understand that there's judgment that's going to come for you people that don't care about Yahweh's word and care about what your pastor say. Your pastor is leading you astray.
Come.
Also, too, don't let your pastor give you this guilt trip of saying that you're a demon when you start to question the teachings that comes out of his mouth.
Come.
The Most High said, let Yahweh be true and every man a liar. So your pastor's word will never go over the word that's written here in these scriptures.
All right. So next, what your pastor might try to do is he going to go to Acts 12, verse 4. And what he's going to do is we just going to read it. Go ahead. Somebody bring it up.
Acts 12, 4.
Acts 12, 4. No.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 12. And at verse 4. And it reads, And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the 4 quadrants of soldiers to keep him intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
So what your pastor's going to do is say, see, look, in Acts they was keeping Easter. But what your pastor's not going to tell you right there, this is a Greek mistranslation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Dead Sea Scrolls translation of it, and we're going to show you what they really was doing during this time when they apprehended our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, who the world called Jesus Christ.
That's right. This is the same verse, Acts chapter 12. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the quadrants of soldiers to keep him and tending after Pascha, to bring him forth to the people. Pascha is the Greek word for Passover. So they take Passover out and they put Easter in it so you guys can follow the paganism of the heathen customs, which is Easter and not Passover.
What we're also going to do is we're going to go, just so you can have clarity, so you can know that we're not making it up. We're going to go into the book. We're going to go into the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, and we're going to see what the word Easter should actually say in the book of Acts.
Bring it out.
And it reads, Easter, rendered Easter in Acts 12:4, but correctly translated, the Passover in the English Standard Version.
That's right.
The day of which the church celebrates the resurrection of Yahushua. Easter is celebrated on the first Sunday after the full moon following the vernal equinox. The date of Easter varying between March 22nd and April 25th.
That's right.
This also lets you know that they in actuality aren't even celebrating Christ's resurrection either, because Christ was crucified in the midst of the week.
That's right.
And we're going to go into the book of Daniel. We're going to prove that.
The further you go back into translation, you're going to see Passover. Easter is going to disappear. This is the reason why they're starting to make different translations of the Bible to filter out all of our holy days and to add all of their paganism in it.
And this is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 15.
Bring it up.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city, and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading abominations he shall make it desolate, even until consumption, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So he wasn't even crucified on a Friday, which they're going to try to say Good Friday. He was killed in the midst of the week.
Also, too, we have to look at this. Once you know that these pagan holidays are something that is put upon us by our oppressors and these heathenistic nations, every single one of their holidays always revolve around money. What's the first thing you do on Easter? You go get that good new outfit. You want to dress the best. Christmas is all about money. It's about getting you and milking you out of every dime that you have.
Is there anything else you'd like to bring out, good brother?
Nah, brother, I think you clarified it. I mean, if you can't see that we're supposed to keep Passover and we're not supposed to be celebrating Easter through the scriptures, I don't know what else to tell you. We hope that the Spirit of the Most High engulfs in you, and you start to come back to these laws, statutes, commandments. And also, too, you awoken Israelites. These brothers and these sisters that know the truth. This is the time that we filter out all the leaven, not only in our house, but it's in our own self, in our own body, the things that we're dealing with, the things that we neglected to change. This is the time that we come into the fullness of who we are, according to the scriptures. And with that, if any brother got anything else to say?
Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 14. And we'll close with that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 14.
Everybody can read it.
And it reads, let the words of thy mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yahweh, my strength and my